It's always my great pleasure to get to welcome you all and say good morning and welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are so happy you're here on a Sunday morning. People I have seen for a long, long time and a couple new faces. Always wonderful to see you all. We are glad you're here. And my favorite church greeting of all time that I got a number of times ago, even if you're sitting there not sure what's going to happen, what's going on here, trust. You're in exactly the right place, exactly where you need to be, and we're all happy you're here. And look, nothing in my hands.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome, Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalists. We've spent this last month learning more about how to survive during these challenging times. You've been on the streets, loudly protesting the injustices, intolerance, and cruelty that's springing up like nasty weeds. In fact, I prefer the weeds. They are hardy, abundant, and stubbornly cheerful to those other things that yes. This month, we've also been in the midst of Jubilation, as you know, looking forward to the year ahead. And as a congregation, we've been giving thought to our next big thing. As ever, I'm grateful to be here with you and share this service. I'm Maria Manconi, the pastoral associate assisting Reverend Matthew today. Recently, we've been learning about Reverend Martin Luther King's idea of creative maladjustment, which has struck a great chord with me. We know that term refers to purposefully refusing to accept or adjust to injustice. It indicates a rejection of inequality and oppression, and it asks us to actively work to dismantle these forces in our society. I'm seeing this congregation live this idea of dismantling injustice and oppression in so many ways, and I'm proud to stand with you and among you. We have so much to be thankful for, many opportunities to be creatively maladjusted, and to support those who are publicly fighting with us to change systems and structures so that we never become adjusted to racial discrimination, religious bigotry, militarism, or physical violence. And we give thanks for this place, our spiritual home, that is the original home and unceded land of the Yaqui and Thana Otham people. We respect and honor their commitment to our home here too. Today's service is led by our minister, Reverend Matthew Funk-Crary, and supported by our congregation staff, including Chris, our music director, Stacy, our religious education coordinator, and Stephanie, our administrator. I know we're all grateful for this group of people who so lovingly support the work of Mountain Vista Congregation. In addition, thank you to the many volunteers that contribute each week. Our AV crew today, which includes Lee, and Robin, and Anne, and Alex, and Bob. Thanks to all of you. Joel Yelland, our song leader, Sally Wistrand with Joys and Sorrows, and volunteers for greeting and hospitality, as well as volunteers in RE taking care of the kiddos. Everyone who contributes their work and care makes today possible. As we often say here, we're better and stronger together. Our services are not just attended by those of you here in person, but also virtually. And we have a volunteer there too, Bill Killian, who is our Zoom host. So thanks to Bill up there. Some of you are watching this in real time, and others will watch later. So if you can, please turn around, and Bob will pan the camera for us, and we can wave to our colleagues who are currently attending virtually. And a reminder to our virtual participants, there is an online fellowship hour for you after. So once again, good morning and welcome. Our chalice lighting this morning is Different Yet United by Pat Uribe Lichty. We come from many places along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities. And yet, we come together as one people with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others who are much like us, and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories with many voices, but always one people, working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace.
We light our celebration chalice for the passages in life such as births and weddings and deaths of the members of our congregation. We do this in celebration among our histories and stories and differences because we share this one life. Today, we light our celebration chalice for the Desai family, Pat and Sanjay and Maya, on the passing of Dr. Chandrakant Desai, their husband and father, and friend to our congregation. From his birth in the small village in India to his death this last Friday, after a few days in hospice, Chandrakant's 88-year path through life was different and unique and beautiful and yet similar to your own. Out of a poverty that many of us could not begin to imagine, to coming to Tucson in 1981, to be a professor of civil and architectural engineering and mechanics at the University of Arizona, it was his determination, his brilliance, that took him far, but never away from his Hindu faith. The family kept bonds with the Hindu community here, family and friends, to celebrate births and weddings, deaths in that faith. But Pat and Chandrakant chose to raise their children here at Mountain Vista, participating in many ways in the one life we share. Pat even served as president for our congregation for a time. This last week, I had the privilege of visiting him and his family. While at his bedside, friends came and a beautiful Hindu prayer was offered for Chandrakant in his dialect. As the blessing poured over and round and through that small group of people, I recognized nothing but the word Om. Om is the universal sound in Hinduism. It is the beginning. It's the ending. It holds all the grief and the hope, all the sorrow and the joy as one life. Om. In celebration of the life of Chandrakant Desai, I light our celebration chalice. In memory and in love.
Our opening hymn this morning is number 122 in the gray hymnal, Sound Over All Waters. Beautiful text by John Greenleaf Whittier and a very traditional hymn tune. Will you rise as you wish and join us in singing?
Our reading this morning is honoring our ancestors by Alondria Williams, 1979 to 2020, who served as co-moderator of our UU Association from 2017 to 2020. The history and legacy of Unitarian Universalism are shaped by the ancestors in our congregations. I came as a fourth grader to my congregation, the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church in Knoxville, Tennessee, TVUUC. That community helped bring me into social justice struggles in the world around me and inside our faith. My church opened so many doors because they held young people in high esteem and encouraged our leadership in the church and community. My religious education teachers, friends, parents, and spirit aunts and uncles were, and still are, community leaders in everything from nuclear disarmament to anti-racism, anti-oppression issues. They have been my inspiration as I work to support others who are called by their faith to change hearts, minds, and communities. My church changed forever on July 27th, 2008, when an armed man came into the sanctuary and killed 2 UU leaders, one a member of TVUUC and the other a member of Westside Church. This rocked our church to its core. When I first heard about it, I didn't know who had been killed. My mom, my friends, and their parents, or others who had nurtured me my entire life. I realized something that day that has stayed with me ever since. No matter what issues I have with other Unitarian Universalists regarding our visions of God, spirit, justice, race, and age, at the root of everything is community, love, and faith. That day, something larger than our individual beliefs rose up in my mind. I thought of the principles, values, and family that are the connective tissue of our faith community and that held us weeks after the shooting, 6 months later on our church's 60th anniversary, and still today. This next part is just my favorite. I have to say that. We are part of the connective tissue that holds the legacy and future of our faith. We are the children of freedom fighters, visionaries, and radical liberal theologians. We are the phoenix rising out of the ashes of the McCarthy era and the civil rights, women's, and queer liberation movements. We are the survivors and beneficiaries of youth-led and youth-focused beliefs and programming that encouraged us to be change makers, boundary pushers, and institutionalists at the same time. We are, and we will be, the ministers, religious educators, congregational presidents, organizers, and social change leaders our faith has led us to be. We wear our faith as tattoos on our bodies and in our hearts, as testaments to the blood, tears, dreams, and inspirations of our community ancestors and elders.
I invite you now to a time of contemplation, of considering and pondering that in between there is love. In between our past and our future, there is love. In between our 100% justified fears and our highest hopes and aspirations, there is love. In between the most audacious tragedies, the cruelty that human beings can do that we do, and the everyday warmth of human kindness that we do every day, there is love. In between injustice and action, in between joy and sorrow, in between you and I, there is love. which is all to say, right here, right now, there is love. Over this month of jubilation in small gatherings that we've named Jubilation Jams, we've gathered and spoken to one another about what we love about Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist, about what exists between and among us. I must thank Debbie and Anne and Mary and George and Chuck and Anne for facilitating our jams. Thank you. Anne has the last one just after the service today. Between honoring each individual's belonging, all of our historical achievements, and the dedication of our elders and ancestors, and our vision for our secular faith community's next big thing, we spoke and pondered, listened, and recorded what we love about Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist right here, right now. And a big thank you to the 80 members and friends who have participated. Thank you. Together, we recorded 185 loves. And without too much interpretation, I've distilled what we loved into 30 categories. Now, each of these are as close to the original words and the loving support of at least 3 different people. Some of our categories have a great deal more love, and others have a great deal more fine details about what an individual loves. So taking into account the number of times a love was chosen and not leaving out any of those details, here's what we love about Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist. The larger the word, the more love it received. Do you see what you love about MVUU? Even if you didn't join in one of the jam sessions, do you see what you love? Can we just go one big of that? Because here's what I see. I see a community that above all else is in love with its community. I see a community that loves to sing, that loves its music, both in personal expression and what our choir does and what our music director does at the piano. I see that we care for people. I see that we search for ways to gather as a social community and as a church community. I see that we value each person who's here, and we value all of us together. This is what we love. Right here and right now. And I just have to look around the room and see love. We've centered love in between engaging and transforming in our mission statement. We're guided by love in our covenant as we name our highest aspirations. We've chosen love. In between that unconditional love for everyone, everywhere, always. And that's hard. And showing up and doing the challenging work of loving the hell out of the world, which is also hard, we've chosen love. More than the sum of our people and our programs and this place, love is the spirit of our secular faith community right here and right now. Between the past and the future, between birth and death and joy and sorrow and you and I, it's love. Don't take my word for it. Just look at each other. May this be our choice now and in all of our days to come.
Beautiful, beautiful song by Elizabeth Alexander. Do not leave your cares at the door. Don't leave them there when you come into this place, because everyone's story is sacred and everyone belongs here. Beautiful, beautiful song. And I told him I wouldn't say this till afterwards, I am incredibly proud of these people here. It invites catastrophe to say, this is the first time since I've been here that we've attempted something without the piano. And they've been nailing it in rehearsal. Y'all join us in that. Now, shh.
Do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Oh, bring your pain and sorrow and joy. There's a place for them upon the altar of life. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. This is a place of grace, a place of losing and finding our way upon the winding road, meeting and parting, stumbling and starting over. Every story is sacred here, even yours, even yours. So come on in and do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Bring your pain and sorrow and joy. There's a place for them upon the altar of life. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. This is a place of grace, a place of losing and finding a way upon the winding road, meeting and parting, stumbling and starting over. Every story is sacred here, even yours, even yours. So come on in and do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Amen. Amen. Amen.
I hope you feel invited to bring your cares in with you. Each week, with water and stone and breath, we share in celebration and comfort of our joys and our sorrows. We pour out water, collected from Sonoran skies, from around the world, from the taps in our homes. This is the flow of our congregation's spirit of love. And then we have stones that we add to give substance to the joys and the sorrows. We often speak a joy or a sorrow when you have invited our pastoral care committee to do so. So a stone for our joy or
This
sorrow?
is a joy and a sorrow,
All right.
so we can put one in for each. This is a joy and a sorrow from Ann Bowling. Ann has maneuvered through almost 50 years with vision in only one eye, and now she's facing cataract surgery in her seeing eye. Despite lots of success stories with promises of a good outcome, she is still anxious about what might occur given the release form spelling out numerous dire results. Her joy and gratitude is for advanced medical treatment and the love and care of our MVUU fellowship, and she hopes to report positive results next week.
We can applaud that. Yeah.
Reverend Matthew also has a joy and sorrow he once shared. His joy is to report that Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe, lead minister at UUCT, has announced that starting in July, she will begin a new ministry at another congregation, likely in the Northeast. While this joy is touched with the sorrow of losing Reverend Bethany from our Baja 4 collaboration, we celebrate all that she's done and inspired among our 4 UU congregations here in Southern Arizona. We wish her the absolute best in her new ministry with another congregation, and more celebration will be coming soon. Can we put some
Please.
stones in?
We know there are more joys and there are more sorrows here among us. So Sally is adding stones for those that are here and unspoken. We each bring our cares. We each when you have 5 sons, you get used to catching. Where were we? We bring our joys and our sorrows with us. I want to invite us to share in a breathing of our joys and sorrows, even though they're unnamed. To just drop in a stone for joy, breathe in and out a joy. Breathe in and out a joy. In and out. And our sorrows, so many. Heavy in our hearts, heavy in our lives, in the circle of our individual selves and our family and friends, our local communities, our country, our world. Breathe in and out your sorrow. In and out. In and out. Our choir has told us, do not leave your cares at the door. Bring them in. Let them be a part of the spirit of love of this people, that we might celebrate and and comfort alongside you.
Hallelujah. Let's rise as we are able and sing number 108 in the hymnal, also on the screens. This wonderful, most beloved of hymns from many UUs and from many people across many different faith traditions. Traditionally, well, written by Robert Lowry in the 19th century, my life flows on in endless song. But most importantly, the last line, how can I keep from singing? John?
My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Though all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, or to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, can I keep from singing?
There will be a tomorrow. There will be. There will. It's really not much of a radical prediction, not really. There's nothing particularly prophetic about the certainty that the planet will turn, the sun will rise, and a new day will begin, as it has for the millennia of human existence. But what happens tomorrow, here upon the earth, what all of us, this many and various human beings, what we choose to do with our lives, saying something about that with certainty, naming exactly what we will do tomorrow, that would be worthy of a prophecy. That would be up there with those augurs and soothsayers and foretellers of old. Those women, men, and beyond the binary oracles believed that our mystical and material worlds met and moved in harmony in a sacred rhythm that repeated with certainty. The stars and planets, the seasons and tides, even objects that they could cast or deal by hand. These things all moved with the soul of the universe, with the source of all. And if read correctly and with wisdom, they could predict what would happen tomorrow. I personally don't believe that these ancient tools, as we've received them, are portents of universal or global divination. I personally use them, however, as methods of individual revelation and inner understanding. And I do believe we live within a sacred rhythm. That the beating of our hearts dances with the star stuff that we are made of. That our bodies flow and flux with the seasons and the tides in ways that we anticipate and that we trust. That our most ancient legends and lore don't predict tomorrows, but they assure us that in spite of the frailty and failings of human beings, there will be a tomorrow. There will be. There will. My certainty doesn't arise only from living within sacred rhythms. It arises out of the love behind everyday choices and actions right here, right now. My certainty comes from you. The Reverend James Luther Adams, who in my book is the activist theologian that led the Unitarians and the Universalists through the wandering of their 1961 merger of two separate faiths into what we are still becoming today, once wrote, "I call that church free, which enters into covenant with the ultimate source of existence, that sustaining and transforming power not made with human hands. It binds together families and generations, protecting against the idolatry of any human claim to absolute truth or authority. I call that church free, which brings individuals into a caring, trusting fellowship that protects and nourishes their integrity and spiritual freedom, that yearns to belong to the church universal. It is open to insight and conscience from every source, and it bursts through rigid tradition, giving rise to new and living language, to new and broader fellowship. It is a pilgrim church, a servant church, on an adventure of the Spirit. The goal is the prophethood and the priesthood of all believers, the one for the liberty of prophesying, and the other for the ministry of healing. Aims to find unity in diversity through the promptings of the Spirit that bloweth where it listeth and maketh all things new." I had to look up that last part, the promptings of the Spirit. I don't speak King James Christian scriptures as fluently as I used to. Generally translated, what James Luther Adams meant was the free church aims to find unity in diversity, under the promptings of the Spirit that blows where it wills and makes our world anew. More specifically for us, right here, right now, it means our prophethood as a people, as a secular faith community, as people who have freely chosen to engage the world, to move where the will of love blows, and thereby transform the future anew. I don't speak it fluently, but I still speak it. During our Jubilation jams this month, we asked what this future might look like with the question, what's our next big thing? After 9 jam sessions, it looks like this. 19 categories from 126 imaginings of our next big thing. As before, these categories are as close to the original words of at least 3 different people. Some of our categories have a great deal more support than is clear here, while others have a lot more fine details than is clear here also. Taking all of this into account, here's what our next big thing looks like. What do you see? Even if you weren't at a jam session, do you see what you envision for our future? I'll tell you what I see. I see a people who have taken off the rose-colored glasses. Who are taking the community that they love out into the world. What I don't see is some next big project, some next big investment. And I'll tell you, I kind of expected that. There's little projects in here, but more than that, I see us in outreach, taking our community out into our neighborhood and our broader communities. I see our community looking for interfaith opportunities and relationships. I see us building the programs here so that we are ready for when they come to our congregation, bringing their cares to our doors. We are ready in both healing and action. What do you see? What do you see? I see us fully engaged with the world around us, moving where the spirit of love bloweth and listeth, and transforming tomorrow, because there will be a tomorrow. There will be. There will. Not because I say it, but because we do. As a free church, we have chosen to live by the Spirit of love, and by this Spirit, we will renew tomorrow. And that is not something new. It's not something that we've just invented in response to the remarkable cruelty, the willful ignorance, the outrageous lies, and the revenge plot dramatics of the Trump administration. We are fundamentally and forever creatively maladjusted. It's just who we are. We're maladjusted to inequity, to exclusion and injustice in our society. It's just how we roll. It's kind of like what the ancient prophet Amos named so many millennia ago, let the justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Or even sooner, more recent in time, as the smiling prophet, as he was known, Reverend James Luther Adams, taught in the last century. Religious liberalism affirms the moral obligation to direct one's efforts towards the establishment of a just and loving community. We flow strong with the spirit of love, moving in the sacred rhythm with the source of all, within the seasons of rest and seasons of action, seasons of life and seasons of death, of joy and of sorrow, of celebration, comfort, suffering, healing, injustice, and action, and in between it all is love. That's our next big thing. There will be a tomorrow. There will be. There will. Because we've chosen, freely chosen love to guide us here and now and in all of our days to come. May it be so. Amen. Every once in a while is that I surprise Chris with the ending of the sermon.
Well, after 40-some years of doing this and catching ends of sermons, your sermons don't follow the same rhythms as the I don't know how many thousands of others I've napped through.
Amen.
Amen. One more song for us all to sing today. This one's in the Teal hymnal number 1017, and as always on the screens. There's always, by the way, there's always hymnals on the shelf just outside out there. If you like to use a paper hymnal, they're always outside. Same thing with the Teal books. They're on the same shelf there too. Rise, if you would please, and join us, number 1017, Building a New Way, a lovely bluesy, if not quite a blues tune. Let me play it for you.
Feel free. Feel free to clap. Feel free to move. Clap and sing at the same time. Building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We are feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, our world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Our annual theme this year is Don't Fear the Future. This is not to deny our fears and anxiety. We all know they're real. It is to put our secular faith into action, engaging, loving, and transforming tomorrow with this place, with our programs, and together as a people. We do this in many ways. The Primavera Foundation, there we go, has a vision to promote social, cultural, economic, and environmental justice while working to build a future in which all people are assured basic human rights, including co-created communities of well-being, belonging, and resilience. Grateful for the breadth of their vision and their commitment to action across our community, we have taken a collection this month to support all that they do. If you would like to join in this collection, drop something in the woven basket as you exit our sanctuary out those doors. Additionally, if you would like to support our Mountain Vista mission, engage, love, transformation, put something into the wooden bowl. All that you give in the basket or the bowl is gratefully accepted.
Our stewardship campaign, Jubilation, comes to an end in just a few days. You still have time to join in. Please decide to do that. We've sent out pledge sheets. We have a stack even right here if you've forgotten to bring yours today. If you've already turned in your pledge, your financial commitment to next year's budget, thank you. But if you've not yet pledged and have done so in the past, please let your pledge gently rest or grow just a little bit. If you have never made a pledge, our focus this year is to get 20 new pledges, and you can help us with this goal. If you feel fellowship or kinship or belonging with this place and these people and our programs, if our mission, engage and love and transform, is yours, and you want to support it, please make a pledge. First-time pledges are beautiful things. They arise out of your belonging and your care for Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist, and they're based on what you can afford. This can be just $1 a week. It could be $10 a month, or it could be more, all depending on your personal budget. It's not an obligation. It's a reciprocation for all that you receive from our congregation and all that you can give back. If you have not done so yet, please send in your pledge, bring it in, fill out one this morning. Thank you. Renee.
I'm Renee Q, and I'm wearing my Beyond the Binary outfit. Right? Beyond the Binary outfit. There, I need a little bit closer. Got it. Lee, Stacy, and I have been participating in the organization of Beyond the Binary in Tucson, and this will be on April 26th between 9 and 1. And it is a hybrid opportunity, so people can feel safe in whatever they want to participate. Would they like to come in person? Would they like to come hybrid? And you can sign up using this barcode. It's been in the newsletter each week for several weeks and will continue to be. And the first is going to be a main speaker about the binary and trans issues that we're facing and how to be within this community and how to support this community. And the important thing about this is it's across North America. So you'll be engaged in a conversation that's going on all the way across. And then locally, we'll have breakout sessions. And in each one of the breakout sessions, there'll be one for youth, there'll be one for seniors, there'll be one for allies, and there's also, in addition to that, these support services. So we'll have gender-affirming hair care, gender-affirming makeup. We will have a clothing swap. All those things are available in a safe environment. And speaking of safety, what happens is you will sign up to attend, and then prior to the event, you'll be told where it's at. Because we're very aware that in this environment, we need to safeguard ourselves and anyone that might not feel safe with the, and I don't know what the word is, empowerment that people have now to be less than in this environment. So I hope that you attend Beyond the Binary. I think it's going to be really a good event. And I've got several of these to leave behind so that you can get to the website, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Take Action Tucson is a new website to find local events and connect with folks in our area working to save democracy. As we seek to block the harm, break the hold, bridge the distance, and build a new and better future, Take Action Tucson will be our go-to site to learn how we can engage, love, and transform. We will continue to send out protest information as personal invitations from folks at MVUU, Please contact Reverend Matthew directly if you have an invitation you'd like to extend to the congregation. You can use the QR code on this image, I see it there, or the web address we have started posting in the Friday newsletter. Releasing the flame this morning is my church. Engage, love, transform, you said. I watched you do that with yourself. And I knew that if I trusted you to do that, I would trust your path and follow it too. And so I did, and found myself with a spiritual home, with a church house family, a place I've been missing for decades, a place I call my sanctuary.